Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed partners and sponsors, and most importantly, our beloved communities, welcome to the Tobago Heritage Festival 2024. As we embark on the 37th year of this festival, our theme is We Come Back. Back to our communities, back to our villages, back to our true indigenous heritage presentations and productions. We are bringing back iconic events such as Yesterday's Children, Belmana Riots, and Courtship Codes. We want to highlight the importance of coming back to our roots, celebrating the people and the communities that make Tobago so special. Get ready for an unforgettable experience as we say, we come back to our true essence. We want to encourage each and every one of you to continue to support our cultural development and preservation in any way that you can. Your support is truly invaluable. Together, we can continue to make a positive impact that will be felt for generations to come. Thank you, and see you in July.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense pride and excitement that I address you to officially launch the 2024 Tobago Heritage Festival. The Tobago Heritage Festival is not just an event, it is a journey back to our roots. This year's theme, We Come Back. Back to our communities, back to our villages, back to our true indigenous heritage presentations and productions. It captures the true essence of revitalizing the culture and traditions that have shaped our identity for generations. This year marks the 37th successful hosting of the festival, and we are proud to officially dub the month of July as Tobago Heritage Month, a time when our island comes alive with rhythms, flavors, and stories of our ancestors. The festival continues to offer an unparalleled opportunity for economic growth on the island. Every stakeholder, from local artisan and vendor to hospitality businesses and transportation services, stand to benefit. Our vibrant cultural displays will attract visitors, boost tourism, and provide a significant economic uplift to the island. The heart of this festival beats in our communities. We are empowering each village to manage its own productions to ensure authenticity and sustainability. The Tobago Festival Commissions Limited and the Tobago House of Assembly are here to support you, fostering an environment where our heritage can flourish sustainably. As we embark on this journey, let us celebrate the essence of Tobago. Let us honor our heritage and support our communities as we showcase the vibrant culture that makes our island unique. Thank you.
Last year, October 2023, the island tilted. The peaceful bliss of sea, sun, and sand was transcended as we took to the streets to revel in paradise.
Such a nice place!
Tobago Carnival, we're right here. We're not leaving till we go right down.
It's the greatest, it's the best, it's safe, and it's beautiful.
I love Tobago, baby. Coming back next year. Hey!
Playing pan on the streets is a magical experience. When the band strike up, is rhythm, steel, and powder. This is Tobago Carnival, Pan in Paradise.
Tobago is the best.
Tobago Carnival is the new home for the legend of Calypso. Where else can you get sweet Calypso music that gives you that nostalgic feeling?
Soca Titans is we title, is we monarch. We built artists from scratch who can perform with the best. Real Titans of Soca.
When last you've been to a party, plenty women looking so nice. We must be in paradise.
This year, ritual takes on new space and dimension. Traditions will be reimagined, breaking free and taking on new meaning on the road.
I love the energy!
This year, the revelry is bigger and better. More colors, more meaning, great packages for the masqueraders. Tobago Carnival is freedom.
This year promoting safety in all events for Tobago Carnival. This year promoting whining, not minding people business. This year promoting clean fun, security and freedom.
Freedom to be any version of yourself that you choose to be with love and safety. Here, you have permission to be you, uninhibited and free.
So what you waiting on? This year, this October 2024, experience the ritual, revel in paradise, release yourself. From the greatest little island on the planet, this is the Tobago Carnival 2024.
Petal Ann Roberts, appointed Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy as Sertica Williams Orr steps down. Minority Leader Kelvin Morris says Chief Secretary has failed Tobago's economy. Baby box and digitized medical records set to be implemented in 2025. And Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley advocates for increased foreign direct investment into Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening, I am Adana Kumbi. Welcome to the Tobago Updates Television News for Thursday, 27th June 2024. To our top story, Petal Ann Roberts is new Finance Secretary. Petal Ann has been appointed as the new Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy, marking her as the first woman to hold this position. The announcement was made today during the debate in the Assembly Legislature on the Tobago House of Assembly Budget 2025. Roberts took her oath as a councillor following the declaration of vacancy of Sertica Williams Orr's councillorship. For more details, see this report by Candice Jackson.
I, Petal Ann Roberts, having been appointed a councillor for Tobago.
And with that oath, Petal Ann Roberts was sworn in as a councillor to become the first female Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy. This occurred several weeks after Chief Secretary Fali Augustine announced his decision to relinquish the position of Finance Secretary, paved the way for a new appointee. During a statement in the House, Augustine noted that her appointment means there are now more women than men in the Executive Council,
thereby making this administration on yet another front the most progressive executive in the country and the region.
Addressing her appointment, Augustine stated it is as a result of an answer to their ongoing call for a coalition of the competent and willing. Roberts is a chartered certified professional accountant with 15 years experience. Previously, she held the position of Chief Management Accountant in the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy.
Mrs. Roberts has consistently demonstrated her expertise and leadership in various high-level roles. She brings a proven track record in financial reporting, budgeting and public sector accounting, reinforced by international certifications in public financial management and international public sector accounting.
Roberts' appointment follows the announcement of Sitika Williams-Orr's resignation from her position as Councillor and Assistant Secretary in the Office of the Chief Secretary, effective 11:59 p.m. on June 26, 2024. Despite her departure, Augustine expressed gratitude for Williams-Orr.
Indeed, she delivered over the last 2.5 years unparalleled wisdom and direction on how to interface with and to reform the public service in Tobago. Through her strategic inputs as Assistant Secretary in the Office of the Chief Secretary, dealing specifically with labor issues.
In particular, Augustine highlighted her ability to increase salaries and benefits for URP and CPEP workers.
For that to happen, Mrs. Williams-Orr spent invaluable woman hours with senior public servants in both divisions, working to clean up the processes and ensure adherence to long-held traditions and legal requirements for such hirings.
Candace Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
Meanwhile, Minority Leader Kelvin Morris congratulated Petal Ann Roberts on her appointment to the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy. He stated that after she took office, he personally reached out to her and offered her words of encouragement.
As I said to her earlier, public service indeed is a noble profession, and therefore I trust that she will embark on this new journey, a sense of purpose, a sense of responsibility to the people of Tobago, and with a sense of integrity.
Morris pointed out to her, although they sit on the opposite sides of the Assembly legislature, the business of Tobago is most important. He also expressed confidence that the Division of Finance and Trade and the Economy Minority Leader accused the Chief Secretary Fali Augustine of not being honest about how his administration is failing the economy of Tobago. Morris was speaking at as he led off the debate on the Tobago House of Assembly presentation for fiscal 2025 in the Assembly legislature. More on this report from Candace Jackson.
Minority Leader Kelvin Morris teamed his response to the TTRA budget for fiscal 2025 as
unfulfilled dreams and aspirations by a failed and failing administration.
Why does Morris believe the current administration failed Tobago? Well, he believes the answer lies in the statistics. Explaining further, he stated that the island's GDP decreased after the PNM left office in 2021.
Now, if you inherited a GDP of $1.68 billion in 2021, and 2 years later, you are saying that the GDP is $1.6 billion, even a primary school student, and my dear godson in the gallery, would discern that that is in fact a decline. This is a massive admission of failure the Chief Secretary failed to accept and tell the people of Tobago.
Morris also pointed out that another piece of evidence of failure lies in the state's contribution to Tobago's GDP, which is 45%.
The least productive area of the state is the Tobago House of Assembly administration. And the least productive part of Tobago is the state sector. We have to look towards the TTRA as the main driver of growth. We are experiencing low growth due to the low productivity of the Tobago House of Assembly.
Additionally, Morris accused Augustine of not being truthful about tourism's contribution to the GDP.
For the real contribution of tourism to our economy is much less than 13% as they are claiming. In fact, it is more likely to be around 7%. This misrepresentation skews the perception of Tobago's economy under this hapless administration.
According to Morris, Augustine's administration is tainted by its dismantling of productive state agencies such as TADCO, which are now being used to bully farmers and compete with food producers. He claimed that if the TTRA were visionary, they would base their budget on global trends and technology.
And AI can in fact boost productivity and efficiency in the industries like tourism, agriculture and services, which are vital to Tobago's economy.
Candace Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
A baby box, digitized health records, and the purchase of 8 new ambulances are among the deliverables announced by the Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Dr. Faith B. Israel, for fiscal 2025. These were part of her contribution to the debate in the Assembly Legislature today. More in this report from Candace Jackson.
The Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection is requesting $879.8 million for fiscal 2025. While the majority is aimed at recurrent expenditures such as the payment of salaries and other overhead costs, there are plans to improve service delivery in the health sector. One such plan is the introduction of a baby box. Health Secretary Dr. Faith B. Israel explained that the baby box is meant to assist new mothers who might not be in the best economic position.
Which is, the name may be, Madam Presiding Officer, a little bit misleading because it's not just items for the baby, but it would also include items to ensure that mommy, having gone through this miraculous process of giving birth, is able to also take care of mommy's hygiene needs and so forth.
Also on the agenda for fiscal 2025 is the digitization of medical records.
I've already started the process and we already use some digital functions. For example, when you go to the pharmacy and you give them your prescription, the pharmacist types the prescription in, that information is digital. When you go to the lab, that information is digital.
Dr. B. Israel stated that the next step is to digitize records from accident and emergency, as well as from wards at both the Scarborough General Hospital and the Roxborough Hospital. She claimed that it will be a large investment, but a necessary one. Meanwhile, she mentioned they are increasing the fleet of ambulances.
If everything goes as planned, that before the end of this calendar year, we would actually have 8 brand new ambulances landed in Tobago and in use for Tobago.
Dr. B. Israel noted that the new procurement process under the Office of the Procurement Regulator has caused delays in ordering new ambulances. Candace Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
We'll take a break and come back with more. Stay with us.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Get your quality furniture and appliances at Standards. Frigidaire gas range $599. Serta base and mattress $1,899. RC 50-inch smart 4K TV as low as $2,599. Yes, at Standard. Nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, a festival of dancing. Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Dance in with DNA, our 11th edition. Saturday, July 6th at 5 p.m. Shore Park Cultural Complex. Featured in this year's lineup, Assemblyman Trevor James, Mrs. Petal Daniel Benoit, Mrs. Diane Baker Henry, Miss Davia Chambers, Miss Leslie Ann Ellis, and Miss Sinel Dempster. Limited early bird tickets. Adults $150. After party only $100. Children pay $75 at the door. You don't want to miss this one. Get your tickets early from Dance Ensemble class members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford 24 Gas Station Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, contact Nikisha White at 772-9049 or Nelisa Dick 340-5758.
Welcome back. In a heated critique, PDP leader Watson Duke lambasted the current Tobago House of Assembly administration's budget presentation. He was speaking during his contribution to the ongoing debate on the TTRA budget for fiscal 2025 in the Assembly Legislature.
Is this a serious budget, Mr. Deputy Presiding Officer? Not a graph, not a pie chart, not a graph, not a pie chart, not a picture of a project they have done, no project at all, not one project, not even a full coup they build, nothing. But they bring it to us, this half-done book.
Duke criticized the administration for consistently asking for more funds without demonstrating any financial returns. He then highlighted the alleged absence of any viable ideas.
This budget is what I call utter rubbish. They have not shown any progress at all, Deputy Presiding Officer, as to how to increase the profits of Tobago to make us a more viable island, or more viable ward in the Trinidad and Tobago relationship. Not one idea.
Duke urged the administration to seriously consider the island's development and question the income generated by various activities and facilities, including the goat races and Shore Park facility. He also pointed out a specific project to illustrate his concerns about financial mismanagement.
They replaced somebody's steps. Somebody have about 6 steps up in King Peter's Bay Road. They still put a car road. They spent $25 million. $25 million replacing 6 steps. 6 steps alone. 6 steps. What is the financial returns on that?
Duke noted that while his colleagues in the TTRA administration are full of ideas, they lack the willpower to execute these ideas effectively. Former Assemblyman and political commentator Max James says the Chief Secretary Fali Augustine presented his best and last budget on Monday. This, as a new Secretary of Finance will be sworn in tomorrow, relinquishing the Chief Secretary from the responsibility of managing Tobago's finances. Mr. James further expressed immense satisfaction with the vision of the present TTRA administration. He conveyed that the budget was well constructed. Janae Campbell tells us more.
Speaking on Good Morning Tobago, Max James commended the Chief Secretary on his budget presentation, though highlighting one area of concern.
I couldn't see one single area, to be honest, in which the budget fell down. Only perhaps in terms of the legislative idea of 8%. Prospectively, that 8% issue. I don't think Tobago should be put as a percentage because we didn't see it work with the 4.03%.
When questioned about the lack of emphasis on revenue generation, James debunked those statements, highlighting several revenue-generating projects that will come on stream.
When you look at throughput the budget, you've seen little areas, once they are fixed, will begin to yield some form of revenue. If you read the budget very closely, you will see that. We're looking at Spell. They want to bring in new plans, and the new plans will yield a certain amount of revenue for Tobago.
He further added that the Farley Augustine-led administration has only now found its feet after facing a conundrum as it grappled with numerous complex challenges.
This administration it's a baby administration. They inherited significant issues of infrastructure, of social decay. You call it, you name it. They inherited it. And they've had tremendous pushback from the PNM, so that they have to fight state institutions that will weaponize to prevent this assembly from succeeding. We have to face it.
James describes the budget presentation as holistic, leaving no stone unturned in Tobago's development. He forecasts significant economic development through the empowerment of micro and medium enterprises.
Education in agriculture, in works and infrastructure, in finance. If you look at the financing strategies that they have laid out here in terms of assisting small businesses, medium-sized businesses and so forth, using the First Citizens Bank as a clearinghouse for those loans and so forth.
Shanae Campbell, Tobago Updates Television News.
Independent Senator Dr. Paul Richards called for an investigation into public hospital patients being diverted to private practices at personal cost. As chairman of the Joint Select Committee on Social Services and Public Administration, he noted public complaints received at town hall meetings. During a JSC meeting at Cabildo Chambers, Port of Spain, Richards emphasized the issue's severity, urging vigorous investigation and stricter consequences for offenders. Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Asif Ali agreed to look into the matter despite receiving few written complaints. Opposition Senator David Nakid suggested that written complaint requirements deter patients with poor literacy skills. SWRHA CEO Dr. Brian Amor attributed the lack of complaints to fear of victimization, while NWRHA CEO Anthony Blake acknowledged the issue, urging public cooperation for evidence. You're watching the Tobago Updates Television News. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Tobago Updates.
Notice is hereby given that the 63rd Annual General Meeting, AGM, of the Bethel Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited will take place using a hybrid format on Thursday, June 27th from 5 p.m. The physical location will be upstairs the Mount Marie branch office. The purpose of the meeting is to receive minutes of the 62nd Annual General Meeting, to receive reports as follows: statutory and board-appointed committees, report of the auditor and audited financial statements, to receive budgetary proposals for 2024, to elect officers, to approve general resolutions, and lastly to transact any other business that may properly come before the meeting. A digital copy of the AGM brochure is available on the website. Please visit our website at www.bethelcredituniontt.com or any one of our branches for further information.
My name is Anne Natasha II, and I am your TPP candidate for party chairman as we prepare to unite all Tobagonians for the responsibilities and challenges that autonomy will bring. Over the last year and a half, I have led the arduous but rewarding process of rebuilding our party from the ground up. and was involved at every stage of the process. The registration, the management of not one, not two, but 3 conventions where you, the people, chose the party's name, symbol, and color. And Natasha II was there to recruit and mobilize the members, providing valuable, reliable feedback to the assemblymen from the ground. It was Anne Natasha II who led the very talented and effective teams that hosted the Speyside meeting of March 17th. The roles of the chairman are clearly articulated in the Constitution, and I have demonstrated in my professional and political life excellent administrative and managerial skills. As we continue to build our party, we must build one that is stable, grounded, competitive, and rooted in principles of equity.
Well, I think Natasha is a beautiful, beautiful person. I've known Natasha for most of my adult life and some of my not so adult life. So Natasha is a lovely, lovely person.
I am humble, approachable, competent, and effective. On June 30th, ensure that you have a seat at the table. Elect Anne Natasha II as your party chairman. I thank you.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Former FIFA Vice President Jack Warner's challenge against the Office of the Attorney General for withholding full financial disclosures in his extradition proceedings is set to go on trial on July 10, 2025. Justice Karen Reed set the tentative date on June 26th, acknowledging Warner's claim of discrepancies in provided evidence. Warner's attorney, Richard Jagasaw, highlighted that redacted invoices did not match the amount stated, with $6,022,481.25 accounted for out of the $6.9 million paid to 7 attorneys. Warner seeks unredacted documents, arguing the public has a right to know how funds are spent. Previously, Warner's Freedom of Information requests for legal expenses related to his extradition to the U.S., where he faced 29 charges, were denied. Justice Reed noted the issues required trial resolution, allowing Warner to file for judicial review. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley defended the government's engagement with the Indian businessman Naveen Jindal over the mothballed Petrotrin refinery. Speaking at a breakfast event, Rowley criticized critics who previously urged for more foreign investments. He clarified that while there's interest, no decisions have been made yet. Janae Campbell tells us more.
Speaking at the People's National Movement's breakfast meeting at Hyatt Regency, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley expressed that Trinidad and Tobago has taken advantage of direct foreign investment as the first Caribbean country to participate in China's Belt and Road Initiative. Now, all eyes are on India, which is deeply connected to Trinidad and Tobago through indentureship from the period 1845 to 1920.
When we looked at India's progress and knowing the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and India, diplomatically, we're very close. Historically, we're very close. Culturally, we're very close. But we're not very close in business. The government of Trinidad and Tobago decided the thing to do is to expose Trinidad and Tobago's potential to the Indian business community and see whether they are willing to invest in Trinidad and Tobago. And that is why we extend a very special welcome to this business group from India that is here today.
He further urged local businesses to seek their interests by building relationships with the Ariana businessmen as a means of diversifying the economy through agriculture.
Haryana state is one of the biggest agricultural states in India, providing food for 100 million people or something like that, with all kinds of specialities. We need to find out how any of this could work for us here, as they're willing to support us, or to invest in Trinidad and Tobago. Some of these businesses have access to international markets. We offer ourselves as a place of production and onward access to markets in North America, Central America, or South America.
He further discouraged citizens from painting a doom and gloom narrative, pointing that this country has made significant economic strides despite having a panoply of issues.
It's all well and good to identify all the things that are not happening and that are wrong. Because in any life, in anywhere, in any country, you could make a list like that. But the important list is what do we do about tomorrow and how do we make a better tomorrow?
He further added that the contentious closure of the oil refinery was necessary to evade bankruptcy. To date, there is a strong possibility of leasing it in the imminent future as negotiations progress.
We have a refinery which has not been operating since 2018. And we said from day one, it's available to the world. If there's anybody or any agency who would like to use it, if you have oil and you want to operate a refinery, there's one in Trinidad and Tobago that the government is not operating. I can tell you, at this point in time, after how many years of trying, we do have some possible expression of interest.
Janet Campbell, Tobago Updates Television News.
The Public Services Association has condemned Finance Minister Colm Ilmert's decision to operationalize the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority, calling it a flagrant violation. PSA President Leroy Batiste stated that letters were sent to the Board of Inland Revenue and Customs and Excise Divisions staff on June 25th disregarding a Court of Appeals limited stay order. On June 11th, the court temporarily halted the TTRA's operationalization until September 25th, citing administrative ease and justice. The PSA sought an emergency hearing to correct the court's order, alleging it did not accurately reflect the stay. The finance minister proceeded extending the deadline for BIR and CED staff to July 31st. Batiste called the government's action intimidation and urged affected officers to ignore the letters. He reiterated the union's commitment to defending their rights. The TNT Met Office is monitoring an area of low pressure, altitude 95, in the central tropical Atlantic Ocean east of southern Windward Islands. The system has 60% chance of becoming a tropical cyclone in 48 hours and 80% chance within 7 days. As of now, it poses no direct threat to Trinidad and Tobago. Now for the weather update for the period tonight into tomorrow. Tonight, expect mainly fair and hazy conditions with occasional overnight showers. Temperatures will dip to 26 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow will start fair and hazy, but periods of cloudiness and showers are expected by afternoon. These showers will linger overnight with a chance of isolated thunderstorms, particularly after midnight. A mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere, so sensitive persons should take necessary precautions. Temperatures will rise to 31 degrees Celsius with a heat index of 34 degrees Celsius. Seas are moderately rough with waves up to 2 meters in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas. Sunrise is at 5:43 a.m. and sunset at 6:29 p.m. Here's a recap of our headlines. Petal Roberts, appointed Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy as Certica Williams-Orr steps down. Minority Leader Kelvon Morris says Chief Secretary has failed Tobago's economy. Baby box and digitalized medical records set to be implemented in 2025. And Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley advocates for increased foreign direct investment into Trinidad and Tobago. I am Adana Kambi. Thank you so much for joining us and do have a great night.